Sorry, we seem to have lost Michelle there, but welcome along everybody to our coverage of the final race of the season for the Mini Challenge JCWs. It is a nail-biting end to the season. We've got James Gornall leading the championship by 9 points from Nathan Harrison. This is the partially reversed grid, and it means that James Gornall will start ahead of Nathan, who won yesterday's race. We've got a full field of cars, and it's going to be a very, very spectacular finale. Third in the championship with an outside chance is Dan Zelos, very much on home tarmac. Dan starts fourth on the grid. Pole position today going to the man who finished seventh in yesterday's race, Harry Gooding. So Harry Gooding on pole. There is Harry in the 56 car, a familiar for me and for many club racing fans livery, because he ran in the blue and orange colours in his Fiesta days, starting in Fiesta Juniors, and a talented driver, one that we mark out perhaps as a former, a future rather, mini champion, having had 2 Fiesta championships under his belt so far. Alongside him on the front row is Max Bird, running with Lawrence Davies' team. Max had a great race yesterday, the top 8. There was so much dicing going on in around the top 8. And he was being challenged quite hard by Lewis Brown, who starts back in 8th position on the grid. There's the shot going in on Harry Gooding, the teenager based in Somerset. Car prepared by Jam Sport, Jamie Going's team. And there are lots of different teams that we're hoping and expecting to make the move into the touring car supports for next season. Just waiting for the 5-second board to get the cars underway on their green flag lap. And let's run through the rest of the runners for you. We've got Nathan Harrison and Ben Palmer starting. They were first and second yesterday, so they will start 6th and 7th on the grid for this one. So it's Harry Gooding and Max Bird on the front row, Jack Davidson and Dan Zelos row 2, James Gornall and Ben Palmer on row 3, Nathan Harrison next to Lewis Brown for the start of this one. Then it is Rory Cuff and James Laux, Keenan Dole with James McIntyre on row 6. Row 7, Ryan Dignan and Brad Hutchinson, followed by the 16 car of Callum Newsham. I understand some setup changes on that car overnight, which you might see him go up the grid a little bit further. Richard Newman next up from William Newnham, and then Matthew Wilson, Lewis Gaylor and Rory Clark on row 10. Josh Stanton is next up with Stuart Gibbs, Steve King and Stephen James on row 12. Row 13, Neil Trotter, who told me this morning he's going to be using this one as a little bit of a test exercise for next year, as he's not overly happy with his performance so far this weekend. James Griffith next up, and the grid completed by car number 88, Tom Rawlings. Championship points, as I mentioned, 9 points separating first and second. It is a fairly complicated point structure in the championship. If you were with us yesterday, you'll know 50 points for the win, 44 for second, 40 for third. If the result from yesterday was replicated, then it won't quite be enough for Nathan Harrison to overcome James Gornall in the championship. So he needs to do a little bit more than what he did yesterday. Nathan taking the win, James Gornall in third. That was a gap of 10th position, 10 points between the 2 positions. But James Gornall picked up some of those very valuable fastest lap points, and you get 6 points for being the fastest lap setter, 5 points for having the second fastest lap in the race. Now, if 2 or 3 drivers further down the field set fastest laps, it might be difficult to get a handle on that. So if it gets a little bit nip and tuck on the points, we might have to defer to a championship official in Parc Ferme to declare who's going to be the champion. And you can see the throngs of fans here assembled on the infield section, 3 or 4 deep in places, to watch many of these drivers, of course, aspiring to be touring car drivers. You might see GT drivers. Talk about GT drivers, of course, James Gornall, former GT3 champion, and having a, can we call it a relaunch in his career? Very possibly for James Gornall. But he's looking to try and wrap up the championship. It's going to be fascinating to see where James will wind up for next season. There goes the Northcott vending machine through shot of Callum Newsham. Callum's dad, of course, a former touring car racer himself. So all the runners safely installed on their last lap. James Griffith goes through, Tom Rawlings at the back of the field, but it's Harry Gooding who is up front with Max Bird alongside. Bird, the Sussex-based racer, raced in Untitled Challenge and looking fairly settled here, and I think looking for another season in Mini Challenge for next year. We'll start to get all the announcements after this weekend. Harry Gooding, though, good season for him thus far, learning his trade, has had a best of 4th position, which was round 12 on the Grand Prix circuit at Brands, and the partially reverse grids afford a driver a chance maybe of a first win, because it's a very difficult formula to obviously get to the top in qualifying in, and overtaking is going to be a little bit of a premium. It's possible, we do see a lot of passing in these cars, but sometimes a reverse grid, a partially reverse grid, just affords a driver that chance to make a break at the front of the field, and maybe this could be Harry Gooding's first win in the championship. So reverse grids do tend to afford that. Not been too far away from the podium, certainly in the past. We're looking at Ryan Dignan there in the 84 car. This is Ryan's, I think, third or fourth meeting with us this year. Has a best result of 10th place, which was round 4, appropriately here back at Snetterton a few months ago. Through goes Lewis Brown. Rory Cuff was just outside the reverses. He goes through in the number 12 car, and then the 35 of James Laux. Car's weaving around, just trying to get a little bit of heat in the tyres. A tad colder than it was yesterday for these guys, running in the race in the afternoon. Hutchison goes through. So the second green flag lap should help them just get the cars up to working temperature and get them in fine fettle ready for their race. Matthew Wilson, the man from South Gloucestershire, JWB, entered car going through. This corner here is turn 2, the Wilson hairpin, and from there they go where you can see the cars at the back of shot going through, left-hander at Palmer, down to another hairpin which is Agostini, and then a run up to Hamilton corner on the left of the circuit. So in terms of the points gap, again going back to James Gornall and Nathan Harrison, if those two get together in the race and take each other out, so we look at Rory Cuff, who's another driver who's had a pretty good season. Rory with 1 second place. That was, if you were with us for the mini festival at Brands Hatch Live, he took 2nd position in race 3. A good example of driver getting a result there. If the two drivers take each other out, assuming James Gornall and Jiggy Harrison get decent laps in early on in the race, I don't think Dan Zelos can pass them. He's on 692 points, 43 points behind Harrison. So if he won the race, he'll pick up 50 points, but then he would need to also beat them in terms of the fastest lap in the race as well. So it does come down to racecraft, it comes down to finishing the race, and it also comes down to maintaining your pace in the race to get fastest lap as well. James Gornall, he's in the white, yellow and black car. You can see 5 or 6 cars back. He's got Dan Zelos in front of him. And one feels that perhaps the squabbling will be for podium positions here for the top guys in the championship. Somebody I haven't mentioned is Jack Davidson. They're in the 21 car, another young Scot who came through the Fiesta Championship and had a decent enough race yesterday. There is Lewis Brown. Lewis really missed out on the reverse grid section of the race. Could have been on pole, but was having a very, very good go at trying to get up towards the top 4 of the race. He was challenging for 5th position, did a really audacious move on the outside, didn't work, got all crossed up, and that left the door open for him to drop back into 8th place, so just outside of the reverse grid positions for Lewis Brown. Dan Zelos in the green and blue Evergreen tyres car. Ben Palmer had a good race yesterday. Ben currently 4th in the championship, out of it in terms of the points, on 573 points, so little way down on Dan Zelos, but Ben could well be a star in this race as we see challenging, just following to the grid. We've got Rory Cuff out front there in the number 12. James Laux is next up, 9th and 10th on the grid. they're followed by Keelan Doyle and James McIntyre with Ryan Bignam. Tom Rawlings the only non-finisher from yesterday's race. James Gorner, as we mentioned, with the fastest lap. He got down to a 2:04 yesterday, so he'll be aiming to try and get that sort of race pace here again this morning. As I say, it is a tad colder. Jack Davidson in the Lux Motorsport car. You'll see Lux Motorsport cars in the Pro-Am race a little bit later on this afternoon, but they're all on the grid. We've got the tail end cars just making their way around Murray's Corner. It is a full field of Mini Challenge JCW cars, and the championship decider is about to get underway. Harry Gooding here, a very good chance in the KRG MV commercial back car. Yeah, we said it, huge grid, makes a superb sight here, and you can see the uphill run extremely clearly here. So green flag from the back of the field. We're very nearly ready to go. JCW Mini Challenge Racing, who is going to be the 2019 champion. And the race is underway. Good start by Harry Gooding as we get away. James Gorner away well too. They're all off the line well. And heading down into Riches for the first time. Harry Gooding is the race leader. Jack Davidson up ahead of Max Bird. Davidson challenging for the lead as they go into Riches. Keenan Dolan around the outside line there in the 777 car. But as they head down to, and we've got Harry Gooding off the circuit. Spoke too soon about it. This maybe being a good chance for a win. Harry Gooding is off. And it's Max Bird in second position. But Jack Davidson is the early race leader. As they go down into Palmer for the first time, Gooding rejoins, is a little way back. He's dicing there with Neil Trotter in 1-1-2, but it's Jack Davidson out front. Max Bird in second. Up into third place is Dan Zelos looking around the outside line. We've got a car on the grass. He's about to, I thought was going to destroy. Got several cars off, and a car stranded at the back of the pack. Can't identify that for you at the moment, but that is in a prone position. Thankfully gets moving and will limp back into the paddock. But the two cars that caused the problem there, Richard Newman in the 20 car and I think William Newnham, they started together, so that would kind of make sense on the grid and get going again, but effectively meaningful positions out of the way. James Griffith there in the number 5. So Dan Zelos challenging for the lead. Zelos has got into second and now challenging for the lead round the outside line. He'd already cleared Max Bird as they came down the straight and is challenging for the lead. Nathan Harrison is in behind them. They go 2, maybe 3 wide. Davidson on the outside line. Zelos jostling his way through and in second position. Now Bird is passed by Nathan Harrison. Harrison up into third place. We're going to have to do a points stock take at the end of this lap. This is still lap number 1 and Harrison is determined to put as many places as he can between himself as Dan Zelos gets tagged and he's out of the race and off on the grass. Zelos was challenging for the win. That is Kirk's for his championship. Certainly we spoke about if the top 2 went off, he would be out of it, or he would be with a chance, an outside chance of winning the championship. But it's going to be third place in the standings for him if he can recover and outscore Ben Palmer. Well, I think he probably will, but it's Jack Davidson. Look how close they are on this reverse good race. James Gornall has contact. Gornall's got contact. Major championship moment, runs wide, and now Max Bird's got contact as well as they go into turn 1, and he's off the track. Now, what's happened to Gornall? We need to know where that yellow and white car is. He needs to finish, because if he doesn't finish and Nathan Harrison does, it will be Harrison's championship. Gornall survived a little bit of a knock there. I said that yesterday this was like a little mini touring car championship. It is, the way the cars handle, the way they look and the way they're racing, very much touring car style. So it's Davidson leading, Nathan Harrison P2, then it is Ben Palmer in third place. Palmer followed by Keenan Doll having a very good race in the 777 car. Callum Newsham has come up. The setup changes have worked well. He's challenging Lewis Brown. Brown in the yellow and black car. Newsham in the predominantly white car with red roof, looking up the inside line there with Norscott's father's company, the vending company, which is why we call it the Norscott vending machine, as we did Dave Newsham's Legends cars back in the day. Dave, front runner in Legends cars before becoming a touring car winner as well, Clio Cup champion in between as well. So it's Nathan Harrison running in P2. Harrison here will pick up 44 points at the moment. Don't discount him from the win. Gornall is in 4th, so at the moment it's 44 points playing 34. He takes 10 points out of him. It's advantage Harrison at the moment, but we're going to need to defer to fastest laps, and Gornall will know that. Gornall will get 6 points for fastest lap if he can do it. It's Jack Davidson on lap 1, but that was the standing start lap, so unsurprisingly, big load of, now was that dust or smoke from a car there, which looks suspiciously like Callum Newsham. It was white and red, so I think maybe Newsham out of it. Keaton Dalton continues to try and chase the championship leader, followed by Rory Cuff in the black and blue machine. So here we go, across the line again, and Nathan Harrison looking to extend the points advantage, looks down the inside line of Jack Davidson. Ben Palmer in the mix as well. Flag going out for Josh Stanton in the 99 car. So here's the lead trio coming down into the hairpin, and Ben Palmer looking pretty racy here at the moment. He's still James Gornall in 4th position. Tempted to go and look at the screen and check out fastest laps, and the fastest was Ben Palmer, and off the circuit very sadly goes Rory Clark. The Scotsman is out of the race. Is that going to necessitate a safety car? Trying to work out whereabouts that is on the circuit. See a little bit of gradient climb there, and that car at the moment looking stranded, but Rory not making any attempt to get out. I hope that he'll be able to move, but okay, so while we're looking at that stationary car, let's check out the fastest laps. Ben Palmer quickest at the moment. We need to check out the other points that are being happening. It is going to be a safety car scrambled here, so it's going to give us a chance to look at the fastest laps. Gornall's lap, first flying lap, was a 2:08. Harrison 2:07. So Harrison outscoring Gornall by 10 points in race pace at the moment, and 1 or 2 possibly in terms of the Rory Clark is out. Little slam of the door. Not happy bunny, understandably. We don't know how he got there, unfortunately. So Jack Davidson, another Scot, is leading this race. So the 2:06 is the quickest lap. At the moment we've got some 2:07s in terms of lap times being set. Our 6th position, Rory Cuff, 2:07.9. 2:07.119. Harrison's got the 2nd fastest lap at the moment, Nathan Harrison, which is a 2:07.1, and James Gornall 2:08. So at the minute, if they finish like this, by my reckoning it's Nathan Harrison's title, because he is running 2nd, which is 44 points, and we've got Gornall in 4th, which is 37, so that is 7 points plus 1. No, I stand corrected. It's going to be at the moment, by my reckoning, Gornall by 1 point. It is going to come down to fastest laps if they stay like that. So we won't know without verification from a championship official. So it could come down to the last lap. But Gornall at the moment just doing enough. And I tell you what, Harrison and Gornall are going to be sitting in their cars going through the point scenarios. It'll be interesting to see if we would be able to pick up Gornall and Harrison's pit boards to see whether they're getting lap times and relative lap positions fed into them, because it is going to be crucial in the championship. I'm not sure that's something we'll be able to get for you, but that is going to be key to how the championship wraps up. Good to see that Max Birdie's back on track. He went through shot. He's in 21st place. Harry Gooding has cleared the 5 car of James Griffith and Neil Trotter in his recovery after going off on the exit of turn 1, going very wide and losing the lead. And Dan Zelos, just having a quick look, yeah, Dan Zelos is on track as well. Zelos is up into 12th place. He's going to be out of it in terms of championship. He's just ahead of Lewis Gaylor at the moment. Safety car lights still on, and we're going to go 2 laps under the safety car. A big shame that our 20 minutes is being eaten into by safety car. Watched the Marshall's briefing this morning, and it was very respectful about mini racing, but the gist of the meeting was that this is fast, very close, very competitive racing, and that there might be safety car interventions during the mini racing. So I think we're probably unsurprised with that, but it was a very frantic end. Great recovery work as ever by the teams. If you're watching this, you'll know the call out for marshals, that we do need volunteer marshals up and down the country. It's been the odd crisis this year with meetings not having enough marshals. So if you are sitting at home watching this, and thinking about coming and getting involved in racing. If you can't get involved as a driver or with a driver's team, marshalling is a superb way with great camaraderie to come and get involved. And of course there are other folk that get involved in racing as well. Racing officials, the time team TSL, I spoke about them in the earlier race that we had for Mini Challenge this morning, and racing officials, but marshals very much appreciated what they do along with the rescue crews to keep us racing. So it's Nathan Harrison, the race leader. Jack Davidson in P2. Third position, Ben Palmer. James Gornall is going to be wanting to be very, very quick off of the restart for this. Moment can't see the safety car lights through the field coming. There is Neil Trotter, Max Bird in the 44 car. So we're getting ready to go green on this race. The resumption of the final race of the season. So here we go then. Race about to get underway. Nathan Harrison has already gone. They've stopped weaving the tyres, and he would have been looking in his mirrors to see when the others were. He hasn't got a big advantage out of this, although the pressure I think is off here because Ben Palmer is putting Jack Davidson under pressure as they go along the straight. And James Gornall, not the best of restarts for Gornall, wondering if his car picked up damage earlier on. Did get a little tap on the rear. Now to recount the points, last time I was doing the points it was from Harrison in P2, but now he's leading this race. He'll take 13 points out of James Gornall, and he has got the faster lap, but we're watching the scrap for second position as they go out of the hairpin. Gornall trying to close up on Ben Palmer. Palmer looking at Davidson in the 21, the young Scot, looking to add a second win. Won here at Snetterton earlier on in the season, so looking to get a second win here and to add to that's his only podium tally. And Davidson under pressure from Ben Palmer on the outside line here. Ben Palmer is trying to stick at it. That's going to be optimistic for him and good news for James Gornall, who sees the gap on the inside line. Gornall read that well. That was acres of racing experience from James Gornall on the inside line. Goes up into third. Palmer is challenging him. That again is going to be the outside line as they go into Augie's corner. So Gornall goes into third, and that brings the points deficit race-wise down to 10 points again. So 50 points for the win, 40 for third place for James Gornall at the moment. He's going to need to fend off Ben Palmer. So remember the gap coming in between the race leader and the man in third place in the championship, 9 points, and at the moment he's getting that down to 10. We won't get a fastest lap until we come through the end of this one at the moment, but it's Ben Palmer with the fastest lap, and it's going to be on countback. Steve King, very sadly, as you can see, is out of the race. There was a puff of smoke out the back, which hopefully means he's got it fired up. Won't require another safety car. If we do get another safety car, it could pinch the title away from James Gornall if he can't get up to speed. That's certainly what Ben Palmer is doing in the number 2 car now, and having a very good look. Gets onto the back end of the 18. It's not going to do the 18 car any favours in trying to catch up with Jack Davidson. Harrison, meanwhile, is away and down the road, has got clear track and sets the fastest lap. Harrison really throwing down the gauntlet here in the last race of the season. He's got the lead, he's got the fastest lap of the race as well. Davidson sets a quicker lap personally as well, so too does Gornall. Gornall now with a 2:06.1, and I think Gornall, who else has done it? Rory Cuff's done a 2:06.0. So at the moment, as Gornall goes up, and well, we've got coming up now, Gornall up in second position now ahead of Jack Davidson, and that is absolutely crucial for Jiggy Gornall. As we look at the timing screen, it is a job to know where to look, but Gornall goes up into P2, and that just means 6 points. So Gornall here, it is going to be so nip and tuck on points. We've only got 6 minutes left. Davidson down to third, and I was going to say form an orderly queue behind him, but it's going to be somewhat disorderly, I think, because Ben Palmer is chasing him. Keenan Dole in the mix, Rory Cuff there as well, James Laux then coming up as well. Dan Zelos back up into the top 10. Super recovery from Zelos, who was well off on the grass. And we need to... problems there. Newnham is off in the 36 car. William Newnham, the Essex-based driver, the Accelerate Motorsport prepared machine, sadly off track. So it's Harrison with the fastest lap at the moment. And that was the first one after the safety car. Might not have been up to full speed at that point. So it was a 2:05. And yesterday's best lap time was a 2:04, so there might be a little bit more to come from these runners as we watch. Now Jack Davidson, who's slid down from the lead down into third place, and it is the main two protagonists in the championship at the moment that are 1 and 2. James Gornall second, chasing Nathan Harrison, as we look at Ben Palmer trying to get onto the podium in the number 2 car. Ben's had a very good run in this late stages of the season now and was looking up the inside line there, but Jack Davidson holding on well, knows the circuit well, but under massive pressure here from Ben Palmer in the number 2, who again gets a run, a little bit blocked on the exit there as they come out of Murray's, and that loses him a wee bit of ground, so he'll try and chase down. They go across the line again, and again a fastest lap from Harrison. Gornall sets a 2:05.6, so Gornall getting on the pace, but the best lap now is Dan Zelos, 2:05.3. So Zelos with a 2:05.3, he will pick up the points, so he's taking it. But again, is there anyone between him and James Gornall? Gornall's last lap was a 2:05.6. That was when he passed Jack Davidson, so lost a little bit of time. Now the drivers in the 2:05s, we've got Lewis Brown, 2:05.329, and Brown is quicker than Gornall and quicker than Harrison as well. So at the moment, by my reckoning, Harrison is taking 1 point out of Gornall for the fastest lap and 6 points for the race. So at the minute with Gornall in second, I think the number 18 car is on to take the championship title by a couple of points. That's the way they are at the moment, but the fastest lap scenario is changing lap by lap, and it could well happen. Just looking a bit further back, there's another 2:05.9 for Tom Rawlings in the 88 car, so he's in the 2:05s as well, and if he can improve and maybe get between Harrison and Gornall, it could be a different matter. But at the moment, Jiggy Gornall looks like he's doing enough for the championship as we focus on battle for third. Race leader down into Brundle Corner, so it's Harrison leading, Gornall in P2. Jack Davidson again, he's got Ben Palmer challenging Randy. Well, he was looking on the outside line, tucks back in line astern, goes wide as they come into Nelson. This can afford him a run up the inside line. Very well thought out by Ben Palmer, but they door handle with each other. They're on the grass and get punished for that. Well, that one could go to the clerk of the course's office. Ben Palmer, I thought, teed up that move very well, but got muscled out of the way, and now coming back into it, Jack Davidson finds himself down behind the number 12 car of Rory Cuff, who moves up into third place. Keenan Dole was running superbly, but is now out of the race as we look at Dan Zelos, who's going to be challenging for a podium position. Harrison leads, Gornall second. Harrison goes quickest again, 2:04.233. Gornall's in the 2:04s as well. They're really getting their heads down. Harrison and Gornall, the fastest two drivers on track. Now they've got clear track, they're getting up to momentum, they're getting the race rhythm going as well, and pulling away 1 and 2. Harrison quickest. So at the moment, Harrison is going to pull 7 points back of the championship lead. It's all going very, very squirrely. Indeed, they're very, oh dear, Davidson off. Very nearly a rollover from Dan Zelos, who had the fastest lap on the previous lap, and is definitely out of the race now. So Zelos having problems. So it's still Harrison out front, Gornall in second, Cuff next up, and Dan Zelos, who had that fastest lap off the circuit, and well, he's very definitely out of the championship. There is Dan Zelos. He's going to have to come back and have a go next year. Without a doubt, he is going to be one of the quickest drivers in the championship for next season. So Harrison still there and potentially on for the championship with just 2 minutes remaining on the clock now, as the cars continue on their way around. Rory Cuff's come through, he's up into third place now in the number 12, then Jack Davidson. Hutchison about to go through on the inside line. This has been a very physical race. There is Ben Palmer recovering, and Palmer at the moment down behind the 88 car of Tom Rawlings. And a little move on the inside line there as they go into Coram. This has really been an action-packed race. They really were saving all of the aggression and the adrenaline for this last race of the year. You can see at the back of this group, got Lewis Gaylor busy chasing Callum Newsham. Those guys are back in just outside the top 10 at the moment. Car coming into pit lane and probably into retirement. It really has been a very physical one. Lewis Brown goes through, head of the group. Ben Palmer recovering and trying to get on terms with Brad Hutchison there in the number 17. Through goes the number 2, and it's Jim Louts who is in pit lane. So another one of the top championship runners having a little bit of a problem. Callum Newsham in the mix there. Going around the outside line is James McIntyre. Lewis Gaylor in 77 at the back of this group. And as I say, these guys actually just outside the top 10 at the moment. Cuff and Brown go through, 3rd and 4th, with Harrison and Gornall still there. Quick check on fastest laps again. Harrison, as Jack Davidson, the early leader, comes into pit lane and I think into retirement. Lewis Gaylor around the outside line here. Side by side he is at the moment, busy chasing with Harry Gooding. Max Bird trying to come back in the mix as well. Bird goes through on the inside line of Lewis Gaylor. This is Gaylor's first season for the young teenager. He's going to be looking to step up in terms of results next year, as this year is all of course about learning the racecraft of these minis, moving up from karting, and next year he'll know the tracks, he'll know the car a little bit better, and a little bit of testing, and he'll be pushing himself further up the order. But on to the last lap, or on the last lap we should say, heading down towards corner for the last time, is Nathan Harrison. Gornall is second, so in terms of the fastest lap, it's going to be Gornall's championship by my mathematics, because Harrison's got the fastest lap, Gornall's got the second fastest lap, so he will take 7 points out of the championship leader. Here we come, up into the checkered flag. Harrison takes the win. Gornall is going to take second. It could all be about the fastest lap on the last lap of the race. Gornall takes second, does a 2:05. If anyone beats Gornall, it could be nip and tuck in the final stages, but I reckon Gornall has done enough, certainly on the penultimate lap, to have taken the championship. But Harrison really threw everything at that race, and indeed the closing stages of the season, to come down. The gap is only going to be a handful of points at the end of the day between those two. So Harrison takes the win, gets 6 of the 9 points back off of Gornall. I'm just looking at the best lap times. It was a 2:03 for Harrison, a 2:04.6 for James Gornall. I reckon Gornall got the second fastest lap of the race. It means he therefore drops another point on that man, Nathan Harrison. So Harrison, by my maths, taking 7 points out of the 9, and will therefore take the championship table. That is subject to confirmation by Mini Challenge. Apologies again if we've got the maths wrong, but it's such a complicated thing to watch as the race goes on. But Nathan Harrison, what a drive from Nathan. A double win this weekend. Race 1 from pole position, and that race from the partial reverse. He started 7th on the grid. He did what he had to do, getting past James Gornall, getting the fastest lap. There was nothing more that Nathan Harrison could have done in that race to have tried to take the championship title. He did absolutely everything this weekend. Pole, 2 wins, fastest lap, including the reverse grid win. But at the end of the day, James Gornall, who started 5th in that race, did enough to keep Harrison in his sights and bang in that 2-minute 4 lap towards the end to take the second fastest lap of the race and negate the points advantage that Harrison was taking out of him over the course of it. Just making it round now is the 17 car. That was Brad Hutchison, who is classified in 7th position. But Nathan Harrison then, I wonder if he'll be back again next year or whether he'll move up. It's all going to come down to budgets and motivation, of course, as much as anything else. But what a superb end to the championship for this year, coming right the way down. It was to the last lap, because it was all going to be about fastest laps and whether anybody could get ahead of James Gornall in terms of that second fastest lap of the race. So into victory lane come the winners. They'll go down to Parc Fermé. and I suspect there might still be some mathematics going on in the paddock. But as I say, I've tried to keep you up to speed with what I reckon the points have been, and I think enough for James Gornall to have done it. Just to recap, there's a 9-point gap between Harrison and Gornall coming into the race. The win went to Nathan Harrison, which was 50 points, 44 points for James Gornall second. So Harrison takes 6 points out on the race result. In the fastest lap points, Harrison got the fastest lap outright, no question about that. So he would get 6 points for that. And James Gornall with a 2:04. Harrison was the only driver in the 2:03s on his best lap. And Gornall, the only driver at the end, in the 2:04. So Gornall takes 5 points. So it is championship, I think, by 2 points. But obviously results are provisional until the scrutineering is done, and any protests in terms of the contact that we might have seen over the race have been sorted out as well. But we reckon James Gornall, our provisional 2019 Mini Challenge JCW champion, ahead of Nathan Harrison. What a weekend for Harrison, star of the weekend without a doubt. Dan Zelos will take third in the championship on 692. Ben Palmer, I think, in fourth place. As ever, with such big grids of very evenly matched cars and frenetic driving, the marshals having to do a fair bit of work to clear up. I'm sure there might be a few souvenirs being taken home after that, maybe by race fans to adorn walls in man caves or wherever up and down the country. That's the Cornishman, Stuart Gibbs, just being recovered. Stuart having done a full season, just working out, he's had, I think, 6th retirement of the year for Stuart out of 17 rounds. Marshall's already on the case to sort out the circuit ready for our next race. Remember, we've got one more mini race to come for you a little bit later on today, which is the Cooper Pro-Am, and both championships to be tied up in that. So it's going to be an equally frenetic race, looking at the timing screen as well as the race positions as we look down Parc Fermé here. I'm just having a quick check out to see if we can see any celebrations. Have we actually worked out? There's Peter Shearer, very respected journalist there, interviewing James Gornall. Now, Peter is a journalist who does his sum, so I think he is actually getting, as he's talking to second place driver, has agreed with us that Jiggy Gornall is the champion, and getting the first quotes from him. So James will be ushered down onto the podium very, very shortly. Proud BRDC member, as you can see there, James Gornall. Got a number of BRDC rising stars and races in the Mini Challenge Championship. Had a good chat with journo Peter Shearer yesterday about the state of motorsport media at the minute. There's William Newnham's car, the Essex-based driver, being towed back. Max Bird, disappointing end to the season for Max, was certainly fancied as a future champion, running with Lawrence Davey Racing. Jiggy Gornall having to move the car into the scrutineering bay, and he will get checked out. Nathan Harrison, the race winner's car, is there as well. Just to run through some of the positions for you in terms of the race before we get on to eventually get to the podium. Nathan Harrison the winner, James Gornall second. Rory Cuff, excellent podium for Rory Cuff in the 21 car. That is going to be 12 car, numeral dyslexia there. Rory started off the season in frustrating style, retirement at Alton Park race 1, but since then has been getting up towards the top end of things. And I mentioned earlier on in the race that he'd had a second place podium at Brands Hatch round 11 of the championship, so good to see him picking up another podium. Lewis Brown coming through for 4th place, chatting to Lewis's dad yesterday, and he was intimating that Lewis's first reserve for next year, it is sold out, so we might not see Lewis on the grid next year. 5th position going to Tom Rawlings, 6th place Ben Palmer, recovering well in the number 2. 7th position the 17 car Brad Hutchison. Callum Newsham made a lot of progress in the race. He comes up into the top 10 into 8th place. Then in 9th, James McIntyre. 10th position goes to Ryan Dignan. Harry Gooding recovers for 11th. Lewis Gaylor in 12th. 13th was Stephen James, and 14th position Matthew Wilson. Neil Trotter 15th, ahead of the 16th place driver, which was number 20 Richard Newman, the man from Blackburn, as Peter Shearer accompanies Jiggy down towards the podium. It's going to be different next year. He'll be whizzing them over. Very happy is James Gornall. Our congratulations, a little bit belated really saying that, but congratulations to James Gornall, our champion, and Nathan Harrison on a super weekend as well. As they go past race control, the staircase you can see there, which is to the right of where we are at the moment, is the staircase to race control. I think there might be a few people heading up that staircase a little bit later on, but James Gornall, the champion, will pick up the 2nd position trophy for that. Oh, what a fascinating end to the season we've had here. Blue skies making it look a tad warmer than it actually is here, but what a season for James, the 35-year-old actually now, 35-year-old. Started off racing in karts, as many of them do, was Formula Renault champion, so was, you know, one in karts, one in single-seaters, British GT3 champion in 2008, and now in addition to having won the BMW Compact Cup, he's now Mini Challenge winner. So it's pretty much got the set of single-seater championship wins, tin top wins, sports car wins, you name it, this guy wins whatever you put him in. And it'll be fantastic to perhaps see him have the opportunity on the back of this to talk to some touring car teams and maybe join the touring car championship next year. And of course, Nathan Harrison as well, who is runner-up and may well come back for the shot next year. Podium celebrations, though, are underway, and the first man on the podium there is our 3rd place driver, Rory Cuff. Congratulations to Rory. 2nd position in the race is going to be James Gornall. And then finally onto the top step of the podium, we'll see Nathan Harrison.
We've 23-year-old based in Oxford.
2nd place in the championship last year as well. Must be wondering what he's got to do to win the title, but all he's got to do is just carry on, and he will get there. It's been a superb weekend for Nathan Harrison. You really do have to say that, with, you know, literally through everything possible. Tom Rawlings picks up his trophy as well.
That goes the way also of Nathan Harrison, who is going to receive the Sunoco Fastest Driver of the Weekend Award from representing Sunoco UK and American Oil Company. So that's all of our.
I think there might be some discussions to be had about some of the minor places with the physicality of the race, certainly mid-distance after the safety car thing started to get a little bit fraught. And from my point of view, I think good that that didn't ultimately affect, as far as I could see, the end championship positions for this year. It's a fine race between Nathan and James once again. Here comes the champagne mart. I think this is going to be a fairly wet one. Is it going to go over each other, or is it going to go over the crowd? It's the question we always ask. Cameramen always wise to move back. There you go, a little bit on the lens. Nathan having a little bit of a struggle, but gets to the party a little bit late with it, sprays that. Rory Cuff having a go with it as well. Well done, Rory. Very well practiced at that. And Mark Werrell first up onto the podium to chat. It's actually a difficult call for a circuit commentator here, because if you've got a guy that's won the championship and takes P2 in the race, do you talk to the race winner first or do you talk to the champion? So if you've got the two together and they're still talking together at the end of the race, sometimes it's nice to get both of them and get the joint reaction. But Mark doing a sterling job down there to chat to those. And as soon as Mark's done the honours as far as the circuit is concerned, Michelle will get down there and have a word with both our multi-race winner, double race winner this weekend, Nathan Harrison, and James Gornall. I think from the Minis point of view, what a fantastic end to this year's championship. The fact that it was so very, very close indeed. Might be one of those occasions where if it run for another couple of laps, we might have had that change on the fastest lap scenario, but ultimately it didn't come down to fastest. That's where we had to keep an eye on that as we went through.
No, it's not easy to win one, let alone two.
Okay, let's go down and get some reaction with Michelle.
So there we go, the podium and the championship is decided for the JCWs. The interviews are going on, so I think I might grab my chance now. Jiggy, can we have a word? We're live. Here he is, second in this race, champion JCW 2019. How does it feel?
Sounds good, doesn't it? And it feels very good too. That was tough. Once Nathan got through, I knew I had to be right behind him, and I was keeping an eye on the fastest laps as well. I've got signals from the pit wall to tell me, if I got fastest, second fastest. And once I got into second, I got my head down. I couldn't catch him. He was just way too fast today. But I'm pleased to do just enough to take the title.
I mean, it literally came down to a couple of points, didn't it? Fastest laps.
So I hear 2 points exactly. So I could not rest on my laurels once I got clear air. I was very pleased to get a big gap. It just took the pressure off. But still, I didn't want to push too hard, because throwing it off from second and in a potential championship winning position would look really stupid, wouldn't it?
Well, you're a happy man. What are your plans? We sort of vaguely heard a little bit there, but what are your plans for 2020?
Well, I did the mini challenge because I thought this car was just the best car to learn front-wheel drive in preparation for trying to do British touring cars, and that is the target, but I don't have a budget yet. Now, there's a long way to go until the season. If I don't manage to get myself into a touring car, then who knows, maybe I could be back trying to defend my title.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds a good plan to me, Jiggy. Congratulations. Thank you so much. So let's see who else we can have a chat to.
Obviously didn't go in Nathan's favour, and it's a shame to miss out. But I was coming.
Has someone already stepped down? No, we've got Nathan there. Nathan, can we have a quick chat with you? We are live. That's it. That's a rather large. Okay, come down if you want. Why not? Here he comes. That's a rather large trophy, isn't it? Do you need a bigger cup? Just wondering. Nathan, what a fantastic race there, but a fantastic weekend for you as well, really.
Yeah, it's been a good weekend. Obviously, the championship would have been nice, but like I said, we've done all we could do this weekend, pole and 2 wins. It's all I could do. So in a way, I'm proud of myself because I couldn't do no more.
No.
But to lose the championship by 2 points is really frustrating. Obviously, the bad luck we had at Donington has caused that, but that's racing, it happens. So we have to move on.
Well, absolutely, and I think, it literally did come down to that bad luck, but you couldn't have done any more, I don't think, this weekend, and certainly in that race there, you did everything. You got your fastest lap, you were out ahead. I mean,
like I said, that's all we could do. Is the target was this weekend to win everything and pole it in qualifying, and we done that, and unfortunately it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, well, you know what, job done. Next year, what's the plan?
Don't know yet. Like I said, my main sponsor was, if the championship was mine, he was going to put his money into me in BTCC, but unfortunately we didn't win it, so hopefully I can try and persuade him. But no, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, take him out for a slap-up meal or something, you know.
That's it. Get him really drunk and get him to sign a contract.
That'll work. Nathan, seriously, congratulations. You've done tremendously well.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of your day. So I think there we go. Off our winner of that race goes, and we've already spoken to Jiggy, our championship winner for 2019 Mini Challenge JCWs. It's not over. This is the thing, because we've still got the final race of the season coming up for you. It's happening after the lunch break here. Everyone's going to go and have a little bit of a refresh, including myself. And I think they are due to go out. This is the Cooper AMs and the Cooper Pros. Still a championship decider there. Due out at 1:30. Could go a little bit early, but keep an eye on things, and we'll see you back here again then.